Welcome back. If you want to get your children a good English language education in Hong Kong, you can always pay to get them into an entirely private school. Lower down the cost scale were the subventive English Schools Foundation facilities. But now the ESF is losing its government subventions, and parents at one related school are facing a greater than 50% fee hike in the next 5 years.
I feel that the school is not listening.
Discovery College existing parents have been offered no protection at all, and we're facing the largest fee increases by far in all of the ESF.
Launched in 2007, Discovery College in Discovery Bay is one of the 2 private independent schools run by the ESF, Educational Service Limited or ESL. In April, it informed students' parents that they have to pay an annual fee increase, now set at 7.6%, plus a non-refundable annual building levy of $5,900. The increase is part of a broader plan to raise school fees by over 50% in the next 5 years. The school principal, Mr. Mark Beach, and the former head of the ESF, Ms. Heather Duquesne, told parents that the school's financial problem was caused by a flawed financial model drawn up by ESL at the planning stages. Among the problems were that no provision was made for maintenance fees, teachers' salaries were underestimated, and the number of students in the early years was overestimated.
The message from the parents is very loud and clear. We cannot afford the fees if it increased by 53%, but it seems like nobody's listening to us, and the school is determined to increase fees. So I feel that there's no other way that I can do it but writing an open letter to everybody.
In May, a group of parents formed the Discovery College Concerned Parents Group to tackle the fees hike.
It's been very difficult trying to get anyone from ESF or from the Education Bureau to even meet with parents.
Well, I arranged a meeting between EDB officials and the parents group, and as a result of which EDB directed ESF or ESL to have face-to-face discussions with the parents.
In spite of a couple of meetings with Education Bureau officials, there was no downward revision of the proposed fees.
Unfortunately, there has been no movement on the part of ESL/ESF. They don't seem to be willing to accommodate the parents' objections in any way at all, which is disappointing.
I don't think EDB is doing a proper job because when Discovery College made the application for the non-refundable levy in 2011, and they reject it, saying that it's unfair to the parents because they didn't know there will be such a fee. And then in 2012, and when they reapplied again, they approved. I don't know the reason behind it.
But the major problem here is the Education Bureau. Ever since they announced, the Discovery College announced increase in fare, and we have been in close liaison with the Education Bureau, but they refuse to meet with us.
There must be an element of accountability for ESF, ESL's role in the need for fee increases. They've admitted that the major need for fee increases is because of their mistakes and because of their poor planning. And as parents, and a lot of us are business people, we can understand that mistakes can be made, and that these things happen, but you've got to be accountable for your mistakes. You can't make a mistake and then expect someone else to pay for it.
In response to questions raised by the House, the Education Bureau replied in a letter that almost every family understood the financial situation and generally accepted the proposed rate increase and the imposition of the non-refundable building levy.
What the schools has said so far is that if in difficult situations in terms of hardships, parents may apply for special allowances and that sort of things, I think this is really insulting to say that sort of thing. It's not that those parents are in need of extra financial assistance. It's about a reasonable financial model versus some sort of a flawed, financial model.
We could look at different financing models. We could look at debentures where the money is returned to parents at the end of the day, or a cap on future fee increases. We've suggested that the loan tenure could be extended. ESF have already extended it from 20 to 25 years, but that has had minimal impact on the fee increases. So we've suggested that it could be extended to 40 or 50 years, which is the life of the asset. We've suggested that the school be given back to ESF, and that ESL, as the operator, rent it from ESF, so that because I believe it's an ESF asset, so in that way that would reduce the deficits.
The parents say their proposals remain on the table and unanswered. They are asking why ESL, which is related to the English Schools Foundation, can't receive help from the foundation. The ESF has a huge property portfolio of more than 2 billion Hong Kong dollars in Hong Kong's upper-end residential markets. The directors of the ESL are the 4 top staff of the English School Foundation. So parents say they are run by the same group of people, even though the ESF says they are 2 separate entities.
ESF is an entity established by ordinance. ESL is an entity established under as limited by guarantee. So they're 2 very separate legal entities. Finance and everything are actually very separate.
The ESF's new CEO is Belinda Greer, who took the helm of the organization, aware that it will lose an annual government subsidy of 283 million Hong Kong dollars from 2016. Ms. Greer promises to keep ESF a cost-effective operation for quality education. But she's well aware that she needs to work hard to gain trust from parents in Discovery College. She has received the open letter from Ms. Eva Lam about how many students are dropping out of the school, particularly at secondary level. The financial issues have affected the withdrawal rates, which is around 12%. Renaissance College, another private independent school run by ESL, has an overall withdrawal rate of just about 4.8%.
I was certainly surprised when you said that there was concern over children dropping out or leaving. I mean, clearly we don't want to lose any of our children from Discovery College. I think it's an excellent school, and we would want to keep all our children in Discovery College. But no, I was concerned. I was unaware that there is a concern over dropout. That certainly hasn't been the case that I'm aware of.
Parents say it's getting harder and harder for them to get their children a good quality English language education in Hong Kong. They argue that this affects the SAR's competitiveness as a global city and as a destination for high-end expatriates and international companies.
Education panel is still on this issue, and I have put in an agenda item that's being queued up for further discussion on the education panel in LegCo.
This is something I would continue to look into and take up with the Education Bureau.
We probably prefer to look at the extension of the DOA as well as the extension of the break-even first. I think that will create a faster sort of like results in terms of trying to do something for the upcoming future years.
Well, I'm afraid that's all we have time for today. We'll leave you with images of that visit to Hong Kong by Li Fei, the mainland's basic law chief, who is here either to lay down the law or maybe to listen to local views on constitutional reform. We'll see you at the same time next week. Until then, goodbye.
Happy talk, keep talking, happy talk. Talk about things you like to do. You got to have a dream. If you don't have a dream, how you gonna have a dream come true? talk about the moon floating in the sky, looking like a lily on a lake.